Why in the world did we strap batteries to the side of our house? Let's find out. All right, taking a look at our Powerwall installation. This is after the inspection. I'm going to give you a little full tour here, but first, our solar specs include a 5.5 kilowatt solar array. We installed it in 2014, and it's still producing nearly the same capacity. The estimated annual production is 8,629 kilowatt hours per year. Our system has 20 Solar World panels at 275 watts each and 20 N-phase microinverters. The Powerwall 3 specs that you're looking at right there, 13.5 kilowatt hours each. We've got two of them, as you can see there, and it's 27 kilowatt hours total capacity, and it was installed in June of 2024. So let's take a look at the installation. This is right after the inspection, which happened just a few days ago. And as far as I can tell from the Nest Cam video footage, she was here from the city for 8 minutes, 3 of which she decided to discuss the kind of tea that the Tesla guy was drinking. So I'd say 5 minutes total for the inspection for this. As you can see, they paint the conduits for the inspection here. The metal conduits only. The vinyl ones, they do not paint. There was people asking on the previous video why there was this big space between the two. And I guess the best answer I can give you is this vent right here, which would make the third one go right in the middle, and there needs to be 3 feet all around these things. There's some specs for you, I think. Nope, just a red label. And the power button is here if you ever need to turn the whole system off, or at least this particular battery. So we've got 2 of them. This is all part of the installation. The painted conduit goes up and over the door. And then all the emergency shutoff stuff is right there. I hate to interrupt myself, but if you find yourself liking this video and liking the channel, do us a favor. It would mean a lot to us if you hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel. All right, now back to me. So as I mentioned, our inspection lasted about 5 minutes. It was, of course, approved, kind of like right on the spot. From what I understand, whatever that system is right there, says Franklin on the side, N-phase, they apparently failed inspection the first time. So, taking a look inside the garage now for the rest of the installation, which is where the controller box is. You can actually see where our charging unit is as well, and now our breaker box is located on the inside. It used to be on the outside. So, taking a look at the installation, very, very clean install. We've got conduit going up here, which leads to the outside part. We decided to paint that the matching gray of the rest of the wall. And then this conduit you can't paint, apparently, according to code anyway. I don't know if that's true or not. Let's take a look at the inside of this box. It easily opens with this little tab right here. And there are the breakers for the batteries and the solar, and how it controls the incoming from the grid, going to the batteries, to the house, all that sort of stuff. It's pretty amazing. Taking a look down below here are all the specs, in case you're into that sort of thing. And we'll close things up. So this is our new breaker box, like I mentioned. The old one is on the outside. It's kind of sort of still on, but this is where the main stuff is for the house. So overall, that's the rest of the install as how it pertains to the inside of the garage. Now, they said if I wanted to add a third Powerwall, we couldn't put it in the middle because there's like a vent there, but they could put a third one on the inside of the garage here, probably right where that square is. So we could add a third one. However, from what I understand, we would need a second one of these white boxes, because each one of these can handle 2, and the third one, it'd probably make more sense to add 2 more Powerwalls. All right, let's get into the 4 reasons why we decided to get Powerwall 3s installed on our house. First up is 24/7 whole home backup for power outages. Whether it's 5 minutes or an hour or a couple hours, this system will be able to handle our entire house, regardless of what it's running, and keep us powered while the rest of the neighborhood sits in the dark, if it's at night. I guess. So we did a test recently. We ran the house for 1 hour exactly off of the Powerwalls. I can't remember the exact specs. We're going to be doing all kinds of videos with this thing anyway. So I think we had, you know, the TVs going, lights going, dishwasher, of course, AC was even going. And for that 1 hour, our Powerwall system used 15%. So you can kind of do the math as to how long a fully functional running house, the AC is the killer. That's definitely the killer of the battery. But at the same time, if we have a quick power outage, we're going to keep running like nothing even happened. The second reason is offset usage. And what I mean by that is when we had our solar system installed back in 2014, our yearly bills ranged from $300 to $500. They have since, and they, I mean Edison, our power company, has since gamed the system. So before, in 2014, we would be selling back to the grid at the highest rate from 9 a.m. to like 3 p.m. We were selling all kinds of power back that we weren't using. Now they are giving us the lower rate from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then charging us a ton from 4 to 9 p.m. So we want to basically charge the batteries with our solar panels during the 9 to 3, then use the batteries from 4 to 9 and basically not even using the grid. That's best case scenario. Obviously, if there's a heat wave, all bets are off. We're going to use what we use, and that's the way it goes. The third reason we're not able to even use yet, it's called Charge on Solar, and we won't be able to use that until we are fully qualified by Edison. Tesla submits all the paperwork. It takes a couple of months from what we understand, and once Edison says, all right, yes, your system has been blessed by us, you can go ahead and sell back to the grid and use the grid in other ways. Charge on Solar is a feature that I've been seeing a lot of people on the groups for the Powerwalls. You plug in your car, and any excess solar that the batteries doesn't need or our house doesn't need will automatically go to the car. So we'll basically be charging for free from the sun. I can't wait to test that feature out. And the fourth reason is kind of similar to the first reason, but this is more long-term or emergency use. We live in Los Angeles. Let's say there's an earthquake. Let's say the grid is down for a week or more. We can be off-grid with our solar panels on our roof and now our Powerwalls on the wall. We can continue to run the house at a reduced rate, of course. Obviously, if it's in the middle of summer, the AC is going to play a factor. We could still use the AC. It will still be able to be used. However, we can go totally off-grid in that case with the solar panels on the roof, charging the batteries, using the batteries, for instance, at night or all day long, or using the solar during the day. Whatever it may be, we're kind of like a power island at that point. But this is kind of like a backup generator, if you want to think in those terms, that we don't even need to fill with gas, because the solar panels on the roof will keep charging the batteries, and we could perpetually keep using this system however long we need. Even if it's at a reduced rate, I would rather have some power rather than no power. And along those lines, a lot of people throughout the years of having solar always ask, well, what happens when the sun goes down? You can't use your solar. Well, that was obviously true. It was more about selling back to the grid with those panels for whatever we weren't using. Now we can take that power, send it to the batteries, use the batteries at night, and just keep going and going and going and going. Tesla Powerwall 3s are brand new to me. I am not going to pretend I know everything about them. I'm kind of learning as I go and sharing my experience with you. If you have Tesla Powerwalls already installed and you are an expert, comment down below. I want to learn from this as well. And if you're considering Powerwall 3s, definitely hit us down in the comments if you have questions as to the experience. And also, check out our other video up here, the first video that we had when we had these installed. We've got the cost in there. We've got all kinds of other things when we first had these Powerwalls installed. So there you go, Powerwall 3s, and we're going to keep doing videos. I think the next video I want to do is about my favorite thing about Tesla Powerwalls. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's the app. It's so cool. All right, there you go. 2 Tesla Powerwall 3s installed to the side of our house. It's just giving us the peace of mind, should there be some sort of power outage, for whatever the reason may be, we will be able to continue running with the solar during the day, charging the batteries for usage during other parts of the day or even at night. So we can continuously keep running off-grid if necessary. It's just that peace of mind that we wanted. So hopefully this information is going to help you make an informed decision for yourself. If you are deciding or thinking about getting Tesla Powerwalls, I highly recommend them. So far, we've had them about a month or so, and it's a game changer. It's pretty awesome for different reasons, like I mentioned earlier. So if you find yourself liking this video, don't forget to hit the like button on the video, as well as subscribe to the channel for any future content that may be coming your way. It takes seconds out of your day, but means the world to me as well as the channel. So I will catch you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.